comments to his first, but then that will be for afterwards. My name, do you hear me? Yeah. My name is Wenche Hauge, and I work at the Peace Research Institute of Oslo. And I'm going to present to you, it's a bit light. Is it possible to take off a bit more of the light? See better. Ja.
Den er for, vi prøvde det I går.
Okay.
Vi får det til
Ja.
Går det an å skru det lyset?
Would be nice because then people can see better. Okay, okay. Well, I am going to present to you a project on local models of conflict prevention in Haiti. This is a project that has been carried out in cooperation between PRIO and SARDEX in Port-au-Prince. And the researchers have been Rachel Doucet, who I'm so glad she's here today, so she can compliment me if there are questions and so on, and Alain Gilles, and it's myself. This is a project that has been supported by the Norwegian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and it has its focus on Haitian concepts of conflicts and violence. The Haitians' own preferences for solutions and local models of conflict prevention and conflict resolution. It's been going on for a long time. We are very happy that we have survived earthquakes, cyclones, floods, and all these things. It's been really tough. But thanks to the researchers in Haiti that has done the field work and a survey. As you see here, the methodology in this project has been twofold. Gilles, who's a sociologist, has carried out a survey, and Rachel Doucet, who's an anthropologist, has done field work. And I will give you now just the main results of the project. And in the end, I will also tie it a little bit up to some comments I have to what Lundal said. But as you see, we have actually more or less covered the whole country, except for some departments. But we have, the survey has been conducted in 11 towns and middle-sized villages across the country, as you see here. The field work, which has consisted of interviews, focus group discussions, and observations, has also been conducted in 12 communities in the departments that you see here. If you have more specific questions with regard to exactly how we did this, we can take that later, because I don't want to use too much time to go into the details in that. There's so much. It's a large project. This is just to repeat that we've been almost in all the different areas of the country. So let me just first say, when we speak about local conflicts, or conflicts at the community level, it is very important to emphasize that, of course, this is a very complicated topic, because larger conflicts, national or regional in their origin, will also play themselves out at the local level, as we've seen, like Port-au-Prince and the city of Gonaïves, that has served as battleground areas for many of the larger conflicts. Likewise, the border area with the Dominican Republic is tense. We have specific problems there, and also in ports like Meraguan, for example. Now we're coming to the really important things, because both the survey and the fieldwork, which is in general quite large altogether, has clearly shown that Haitians prefer to solve their conflicts locally. However, they also answer in the survey that when the conflict has reached an impasse, the majority want the state to intervene. And the absolutely preferred institution is the Haitian police. And if people have any comments about the police, it's more that they are not well enough equipped, or they're too few. That's often the comments that people have. People have little confidence in tribunals because, and that's something very fascinating about Haiti, people know that they have to live together after a conflict or after violence, so they don't like that people are being too much stigmatized. Rather this long-term view that we will have to live together afterwards. So that is also why they don't have much confidence in the tribunals. Then when we come to institutions and trust, the institution which enjoys absolutely the strongest confidence is the church. And the least preferred is the UN Force Minister. And I haven't included many tables here, but I thought that this one I wanted to show you. This is from South Nippen Canons. And you can see very clearly that around 70% independently of age groups have a great deal of confidence in the church, whereas around between 10 and 13% has a great deal of confidence in MINUSTA. That is quite low. And then the confidence in NGOs is also quite low, although this doesn't mean that some NGOs have not done a good work, but I think Haiti has been overflowed by NGOs, so that is the problem. So, and many of them don't really consult with Haitians in their work and do many mistakes, and they also compete actually for the work and the resources. But also what's interesting to see here that the state, people actually have some confidence in the Haitian state, and what if they complain is when that it's not enough sufficiently present, but you see that it's actually the Haitian institutions here altogether that has the highest confidence. Then let me just mention, I will not go into details also because this is also an intricate system, the models of conflict prevention and conflict resolution that the communities have. But let me just say that there are mainly two types of methods. It's the consensual methods and the adjudication methods. And I'm sure also Rachel Doucet can fill me in here afterwards in the round of questions if you... but in general, the consensual methods are when the parties meet with a facilitator, first separately, then together, and then with a mediation council, and they reach an agreement in consensus. And the adjudication methods is with the use of resources both within the community and of the state. But, for example, one party forces the other one to present himself before a mediation council or so on. Or it could be the major or the tribunals. But then we also have some very important things that we found about some consultation mechanisms where a legal state decision is made on the basis of prior negotiations with the authority of the local community in a consensual manner. And also in some instances, the state gives the local community a mandate to handle the case. This is, now we're really coming to the most important issues. Because what is the fundament, what is the basis of the local community's ability to handle the problems and the conflict? And there are several issues here. One is the conflict management traditions that exist in the communities. It's the religious engagement in conflict management. The church is very active, often used. And then there is the family, the neighborhood, and the elders in the community. And we saw, for example, examples in the communities in Mortissan, where we had the field work, that, for example, when some parents also were going out to sell their goods on the street, other neighbors were looking after their children so that they shouldn't become recruited to the gangs. They organized meetings for the youth before a conflict escalates, and there's a whole row of ways of handling problems. Then we also see that the degree of homogeneity in the community was important. That the larger the homogeneity, the stronger the conflict management traditions and the ability to solve the conflicts, and also the fewer the conflicts. And this is something that I will come back to, that has so much to do with the rural-urban migration, which I think is a very dangerous thing, and I will come back to that, and also a little bit because I think we disagree very much on the migration issue. But then there's the local sources of survival, of course, in the community, which is extremely important, because some of the families also told us that, or to Rachel, that well, we have been able to keep the youth out of criminality and conflict, but if nothing happens, if there are not more sources of living in the community, or conditions are not improved, how can that continue? And also sometimes the communities that were living relatively peacefully, they see that development aid comes to the areas with violence. So that gives a bad signal, for example, for the youth. And then we also saw a very important ability to engage the youth in culture, sports activities, and so on. This is just an example of a youth place in Les Hérois, in the southwest of Haiti, and how they were eager to meet and to discuss and to have activities. So I think what's important to think about now is what are the challenges to this to local conflict prevention, and of course what we have seen is the extreme poverty and marginalization, unemployment. That is one thing, but we also saw that migration is a very destroying factor. Rural-urban migration, this is something we've seen through the survey and through the fieldwork. And we could also see that mostly conflicts were found in the shantytown areas. We could see in the survey that most conflicts are in the shantytown areas, less in the residential areas of the towns, and least and almost none in the rural areas. And the shantytown areas were the zones of the cities that had received rural migrants, because they come there and the social bonds are broken and they don't find employment and so on. So I think it's so important to think about the rural-urban migration, not only in economic terms, which is also a thing, but in social and political terms, and it really creates violence. I will come back to this, and if I have some chance afterwards to comment on some of what you said. Then there is the encounter with the external actors. Unfortunately, the meeting with MINUSTA has been not been quite positive for many Haitians. As you know, there are several reasons for this. There's been reports about rape of women and children. It's the cholera issue. But what we have also seen is something that I think could easily have been avoided with a bit more respect and information, knowledge about the Haitian society, because the MINUSTA soldiers are blamed of stealing the goats of the local population, taking the fruits from the trees. And when you're extremely poor, this is very, very important. And in a local community, even if a goat is walking around, everybody in the community knows who owns that goat. And I mean, if the reason for this neglect from the MINUSTA soldiers' side is lack of knowledge, they should certainly be taught this and have this information. And if it's lack of respect, it's a more serious thing. And then, of course, finally, some local communities will have more challenges than others, like some of the communities in Port-au-Prince and along the border with the Dominican Republic, where we've also seen much problems related to trade across the border, that many of the Haitians that we have interviewed have complained about rapes and arbitrary treatment, and that they've not been paid for the work they've done, and so on. And I think it's also important here to think about more investment on the Haitian side, because the the market is on the Dominican side. So there are many things that actually could be done here. Just to end up with some information about as we're winding up this project now, I'm very happy to say that we have several publications that we can make. Some of them we have already made accessible for you, and some more will be made. Sorry. So we have 6 reports altogether, two from each phase of the project, and I have also made a synthesis report from each phase. 4 of the reports are available electronically, and we also have printed them particularly, so you can take one if you like. And for those of you who are going back to either Haiti or the Dominican Republic, if you would like to take some extra, that's fine, because we also have one in French and one in Spanish. And we are working on making available the last reports. We will put all of them on the web, and we will make them available. They are in French, and we will make them available in English, and some of them also in Spanish. Thank you.